Hello everybody, my name's The Wanderer and welcome back to A Wanderer's Perspective. This is a series that I've actually put off for almost over a year now, and the reason is because I really didn't feel any motivation to do anything bar my documentary videos, so I do apologize about that. However, today that changes. Now, without further ado, what is the A Wanderer's Perspective if you haven't been around in the however long it's been that I made my last one? Well, A Wanderer's Perspective is a rambling series that I do on my channel. And the rambling series basically just kind of entails my own personal thoughts about whatever the hell I want. It is completely separate from, my sort of in-universe look at different things in the Fallout series, and it can be covering anything other than Fallout. I believe my first and last one was on Fallout 76's Wasteland update getting delayed, I do believe. But this one today is actually on Star Wars, and more specifically The Mandalorian, which leads me into my next point. Today we are going to be discussing major spoilers for The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 and some other Star Wars material which is less important. Now, if you're planning on watching either of these shows, then or either of these seasons, sorry, I do recommend you stop watching if you don't want any spoilers. However, if you're not bothered about spoilers, by all means, continue watching and enjoy the show. So today, I'm going to be discussing what we might see next, what might we see in Season 3, and going forward with specifically The Mandalorian. Now, that isn't discussing any of the other shows that were revealed in the recent weeks, such as the Ahsoka show, which is I'm very excited for. I always loved Ahsoka Tano. Ever since I saw her as a kid in the Clone Wars, I always thought she was really badass. So we're not going to be talking about the Ahsoka show, which is set in the same timeline. We're not going to be talking about the Lando show or anything like that. We are specifically talking about The Mandalorian. So I feel like Season 2 and Season 1 are different in the fact that they are both great in separate ways. So Season 1 kind of shines in the fact that it gives a different perspective on the Star Wars universe. It shows kind of the more detailed parts that weren't established in the movies, that wasn't established in the Clone Wars. It showed what life was like after the Empire was gone, after there was no, ruling force, and the New Republic was in shambles. It really kind of hammered down on that point, You look outside, there's just death and chaos. In the words of that one Imperial warlord towards the end of the series before he was killed by Moff Gideon. And it also kind of hammered down on this father-son relationship of Grogu and Din, as well as showing the more extreme side of Mandalorian culture. Where Season 1 was disconnected, Season 2 connected the dots. We finally got to find out who saved Fennec Shand at the end of Episode 5, I think it was, of Season 1. That being Boba Fett. And we also got to see Din meet some other Mandalorian characters, such as Bo-Katan and her crew, and see what life was like outside of this Puritan kind of look on things. And we also got to meet not one but two Jedi. Now, if you don't know what I'm on about, I kind of consider Ahsoka a Jedi. Although she dropped out of the temple and became somewhat of a grey Jedi during Star Wars Rebels, I believe she's reached the point where she can name herself a Jedi. Saw so many different sides to this, and I thought it was really awesome, and that's what made these two seasons special, and I can't wait to see what Season 3 holds. So, Season 2 ended on such a sour but such an amazing sweet note. The way it did that was having this poetic send-off to Grogu, where Din Djarin removes his helmet and breaks his Mandalorian beliefs so that this child can see his face again for one more time before he gets sent off to the Jedi Academy with Luke Skywalker of all people, which was absolutely amazing to see, and train using his force powers. And what made this the most kind of emotional part for me is the fact that, Grogu and Mando have been there since the beginning of the series, since Episode 1. They've been saving each other from certain doom, basically. Grogu's been in so many different situations where he's almost died. Mando has been in the exact same. One thing that comes to mind is this scene on Trask in Season 2 Episode 3 where Bo-Katan comes to the rescue. That was a really heart-wrenching scene. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, they've been through so much together only to be separated, and they may not ever see each other again, although Mando promises. And it was such a bittersweet ending to me. We got everything we wanted, but at the same time it's such a sour note to end on. These two father-son figures have been separated for the greater good. Obviously the greater good being that Grogu gets trained by Luke Skywalker, one of the most powerful Jedi. and also the unfortunate fate that might happen to him with, you know, future events in the sequel trilogy. So with that, what do I think is going to happen in Season 3? Now, we saw at the end of Season 2 that Bo-Katan said, if I help you rescue Grogu, you will help me free Mandalore, or something along the lines of that. It was something about completing her mission. Now, if you obviously never watched Rebels or haven't really been paying attention to the story of Bo-Katan, she is all for Mandalore. She was once the leader of Mandalore before the Darksaber was taken from her by Moff Gideon. This kind of quest of Bo-Katan's is about reclaiming the Darksaber and reuniting her planet, Mandalore, and reclaiming it from the Empire, which appears to still have a hold on the planet all these years later. Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are going to team up in some way and free Mandalore. The reclamation of Mandalore is going to be one of the main points of this. I think another key part of this, whether at the start or somewhere in between, is going to be Moff Gideon's arrest and purpose. I think Moff Gideon is going to be used as one of those intimidating captives that, you know, supplies useful information but in a really cryptic way. I believe he's going to be serving as this kind of war criminal who's been interrogated by maybe Cara Dune or some higher ranking officer in the New Republic for information on how the Empire is still around, how they are operating, and their purpose for Baby Yoda's blood, and what they are really doing with it. Because I think it's pretty clear by now, especially with episode 4 of season 2, that they want to try and use Baby Yoda's blood to create clones of Snoke that are force sensitive, or at least have a high midichlorian count, so that, you know, Palpatine can infiltrate and possess Snoke. I also feel like at the end of season 2 we saw that, you know, Din Djarin kind of carried disregard when it came to the Darksaber, which is obviously the ancient Mandalorian lightsaber that Moff Gideon had. Now, you must defeat somebody in battle to claim this. Din defeated Moff Gideon, but that wasn't a part of the original plan. Bo-Katan is the leader of Mandalore, or the self-proclaimed leader of Mandalore. She needs the Darksaber if she's going to claim herself as that. And that now that Din has won the Darksaber fair and square against Moff Gideon, it means he is truly the leader of Mandalore. Now this is going to create some tension between Bo-Katan, obviously, and Din. And what this is going to do is either I think there's going to be some sort of weird fight where, you know, they'll spare each other or something, or maybe even try to kill each other, but I think that is a bit of an extremity considering, you know, Bo-Katan's all about uniting Mandalorians instead of dividing them. It's definitely going to be some sort of tension between the two, although they have to work together to stop Moff Gideon's forces, although he is now in custody of the New Republic. The child is now in the hands of Luke Skywalker, so Baby Yoda's off the list, basically. So what does that entail now? Well, I believe that Din Djarin's new responsibilities is to kind of, you know, unite the people, whilst also dealing with Bo-Katan's saltiness, and also to try and help reclaim Mandalore. I feel like that's what's gonna, you know, be shown. Grogu's whereabouts. Now, I feel like this is kind of like a touchy subject, if you know what I mean, because I don't think we're going to see much, if not anything, of Grogu next season, which I believe is such a stupid decision, because Grogu has become such a staple of The Mandalorian and Star Wars in general, to the point where it would be absolutely brain dead to leave him out. Even if it's just like a post-credit scene, like we did with Boba Fett in the new show that's coming out, of him like training at the Jedi Academy. I believe we need to see more of Grogu. How they do it, I don't know. Either way, they're just kind of like my thoughts and opinions. What do you guys think of what's going to happen in Season 3? Did you enjoy the ending of Season 2? What are your thoughts on The Mandalorian as a whole? Star Wars' future? It looks like they're going to be kind of taking on an MCU approach, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, so my name's The Wanderer. Thank you for watching. If you want more content like this, please subscribe. And my next project is still in process. The Wanderer, a Fallout story, is almost here, my friends. With that said, may the Force be with you, and I'll see you later.